We have our parks, we have our problems, but trust me, the problems in Africa are not 1/10 compared to the problems in America. Nobody puts you out of your house in Africa. You can talk to the landlord and they let you stay for like a year or two, you don't pay. Only in Africa that happens. That don't happen in America. At the end of the month, 3 days, you don't pay, they come put a paper on your door.
Gotta go.
7 days, the next paper is for eviction. Another 3 days, constable is at your door trying to kick you out. No arguments. And they throw your things outside. You know how many times have you passed and I see people things outside the door? What kind of disrespect to the human race is that? Only in America they do these things. Because of what? Why should somebody lose their homes and houses because of a system? What kind of system is that? That don't care about the people, that will spend 70 billion on war, 80 billion on war, and cannot provide housing for their citizens, and you call this a wonderful place? When I see an orange tree growing everywhere in America, I'll stay. Or I see a mango tree growing everywhere in America, I'll stay. Let me pause for a minute this side. Yeah, as I was saying, when I see life in America, I'll stay. There's absolutely no other food. What food do they have in America? What's their dish?
Chicken?
I asked somebody one day, I said, what dish do you have in America? They were like, barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue, yeah. Chicken, yeah. Barbecue everything. Barbecue any animal, chicken. You know, like I say, man, even when it comes to everything you saying, brother, we don't understand how our mind would change when we leave this system. This system is really to keep us divided. It keeps us busy. Like I said, it actually dishonor human life. They rather build dog shelters than to build human shelters. You know, so
tell me about that part. Tell me about that part.
Yeah.
If a dog gets hit on the streets, that dog is going to the hospital before a black man.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. It happens in London too. The truth. You know, I just don't understand what see over here. And there's one guy called Wodemeyer. He's in Africa. He's promoting people to go back to Africa. You can check him on YouTube. Just because of that guy's show, do you know how many people have gone back to Africa? Black people from America have gone back and then coming back over here. And the funny thing is, everyone that goes there, everyone have a business they're doing. It's not that they just go sit down full hand, full foot and feed off a system, or go apply for social security, go apply for welfare, go apply for food stamps. No, we don't have that. They grow their own food. They have lands. They give them lands. They build their own houses. And then when they ask them, do you want to come back to America? The hell no is so quick. You will not even imagine the hell, because they don't just say no. They put hell in front of the no. That should show you how the mindset is actually changing. As for the brother that came up just now, say, why would you want to go to live in a place like Africa when you have it good over here? What is the good over here? That's what I'm trying to figure out up till today. What is good in America when black people are being persecuted to the fullest every minute, hour, and second? Where black people don't have no rights. Where the white man considers us 3/5 of a human being. As I realized and came to a realization that I was a black man when I came to America. Because we don't know nothing about black man over in Africa. We know about Sierra Leoneans, Liberians, Nigerians, and so on and so forth. Congolese, South Africans, Tanzanians, Zimbabweans. We are a people. We are people. We have identity over there. But over here, you're just a black man.
You know, but that's it. Right now, we are so low at the top, at the totem pole, when they give one black person a job making 100,000 and a desk and a name tag and put his name on the door, he's so he been so low. That see a brother like that, he probably making about $100,000 a year. He got an office and a desk, and now he ain't leaving.
How does he spend
it?
How does he enjoy that money?
Yeah, that's how low he is as a people in this system. So when they give one person something, if you almost do that to anybody, they'll come to love America. Because it's almost like they're taking care of you, so you really have to come out of the dream. So the money is really the main issue. But I don't know why we don't understand. We can make tons of money in Africa. The same money we can make here, we can make it in Africa.
They will soon realize it in a minute. It's not far away. It's less than like a year or two. In about a year or two, the whole Africa would have de-dollarized. We will have nothing to do with the dollar, and most of the American companies over there would be kicked out if they don't want to trade with our local currencies. Because when you turn on the media, it's like the propaganda is so great, it's so vast. The propaganda is so, as you turn on the media, they talk about Africa, the first thing they say, corruption. Now, if that country was in war, they start talking about the war first before they talk what they want to talk about. They don't talk nothing good about Africa. That's why I don't blame some people who have the mentality that Africa is this, Africa is that, Africa is the other. Now, I spend some of my days in the park right now because I'm writing something. I'm writing some things down and I'm coming up with some designs, some projects that I want to go implement back home. So I'm really like trying to focus. During my session over here, there's one guy who coming over here is a Puerto Rican. This guy, me and him was talking, and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Africa. I'm from Freetown, Sierra Leone." And he was like, you can see the disappointment in his face that I didn't say I'm from Brazil or some place like that, eh? And then I was like, "Okay, what do you know about Africa?" I said, "Nothing, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even have a clue." So I gave him the Africa they don't show you on YouTube. That's show you need to show people. The Africa they don't show you. I showed that guy the Africa they don't show you. Now that guy is spilling all the beans to me. This guy told me he owns this resort across from the park. Okay? It's 66,000 to enter the resort. For membership. To become a member for a year is 66,000. For every time you want to go play golf, it's $6,000. That's how he's charging just for the park. And I was like, wow. And he was like, "You think I can own a golf course in Africa for like $1 million?" I said, "Bro, just that 66,000 membership is enough for you to own a golf course there. Just one member has already paid for you to own a golf course in Africa. That's how easy it is over there." Now the man is thinking to go back with me.
Oh yeah, man. I see, like I said, that's gonna jumpstart the movement, man. Like the NBA need to be brought back to Africa, the NFL, baseball, basketball, like all these things need to be brought back to Africa to support Africa and all these natural resources. So once all this man get popping, like I said, it's gonna be the real exodus. The real exodus that they tried to tell us happened so long ago, it's gonna happen right now, man. So we got two people in the queue.
It's in the making as we speak.
Oh yeah.
It's totally in the making right now. You see, there's a part in one book, in the book of Joel, where it says the spirit of the Creator will move upon the face of the earth. And certain people who are not dreaming will start dreaming. Those who are not seeing visions will start seeing visions.
Yeah.
It's going to create an awakening. And I know that awakening is actually happening as we speak.
I agree, brother. I agree. I definitely agree, man.
It's so coincidental that they call this platform we're on, TikTok. You know what that means?
Time is ticking. Time is ticking.
Time is ticking. And it's only on TikTok we can have these conversations about repatriating back to Africa. Me, as far as I'm concerned, they can keep their reparations because they have nothing for us.
Nothing.
Without America,
They can't do nothing but give us paper money.
Africa, there's no America. I am from Sierra Leone, all right? We have 28 natural different resources. It was 23, now it's gone to 28. Do you believe we have a stone that only falls from the sky and it only lands in Sierra Leone? They call it sky stone. You can look it up. Okay. Why is it not landing in America or Europe? Oh, yeah. Europe got a lot of gold, but there's not one gold mine in Europe.
That's what yeah, that's what I try to tell people, man. So we definitely appreciate you, man, sharing that knowledge and that inspiration for us to even go back there and have that strength. And especially by you being someone that actually coming from Africa, you know, and coming to America and getting the experience, you know, firsthand and seeing how this is really just a oppressed land, you know, and we should have never came over here. You know, big up to you, man. So we definitely gonna give you a follow, man, and trust me, we'll be home soon also.
Enough respect. Blessings.
Peace, man.
Inside.
Yeah, I heard it from an African yourself. You know.
What's going on, fam?
Peace.
How y'all doing?
I'm good.
Good. So, you know, basically what I was saying is that a lot of this, man, we gotta start within ourselves, though, too, ultimately, right? So I think some of it, he touched on it about the spiritual awakening, and that's gonna start within. I think you take, no matter where you are, you'll take a lot of your issues with you, right? So whether you travel from here to Africa or Africa to here, or if you're not mentally and spiritually up on it, you're going to take whatever issues that you had with you to wherever you're going. And so a lot of people have to recognize that piece of it as well. You have to be prepared to make whatever journey. Like, say if I was to move from, you know, I'm here in DC. So if I move down to Florida, I need to be prepared to what it's going to be like in Florida. And we know the state of Florida right now, you don't even want to be there as a black person at all. The way they're doing the education system, you know, so a lot of that just has to be with being prepared. I had posed a question about indigenous, and I was just wondering, do you think that some of us may be still possibly indigenous to here? And that's just questioning. I don't know for sure. You know what I mean? But that's just me just asking, are some of us possibly indigenous to the Americas, whether it's South America, Central America, or North America?
Well, that's, you know, for a lot of black people, I say it'll be hard for a lot of black people to say, you know, to what happened to us. But when the only thing that we can attach ourselves in historical facts, if we are the natural man and woman, which will be the mother and father of the earth, which will be the biblical people, then this story let us know we have been scattered. Our history and heritage has been wiped away. You see what I'm saying? So what we have done, we found out what all this stuff is connected to and why they didn't tell us where it was connected to. So this Bible is an East African book. It's an African book, literally. You know, and it has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with the Jesus that they told us came 2,000 years ago. It has everything to do with the redemption of the people that got their heritage taken away from them. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about our majesty, you know, our resources, you know, tracing our history, it goes back to Africa, as they call us African Americans. You know, they just didn't tell us what part. You know, so to say we indigenous here, you know, according to my study in history, we came over here first without slaves, because a lot of people understand our slavery just recently started. Our slavery wasn't no 400 years ago. You know, before that, man was just traveling, you know, wandering the world, wandering around.
Sorry, but you're saying that is just starting now?
Well, it started about a few hundred years ago. That's when slavery really started.
Right.
You know, it didn't start 400 years ago. Like slavery had everything to do with guns. Like this is even the story of Africa. They didn't even come into Africa until the 1800s. So how could they get us in the 1600s if they didn't even come into Africa? And like I say, this is documented historical facts. You know, they had to get shots and all that to come in the sub-Saharan part of Africa in the 1800s. You know, so these things that we haven't been introduced to and we don't really know. So it's a lot of stuff that just twisted up. But like you said, man, to say we are indigenous here, you know, our majesty, I'll put it that way. When it comes to our majesty and it comes to our king and queens, you know, it don't lead us here. It lead us to Africa. You know,
okay. All right. And I can understand that. Now, I guess like now some of the historical stuff is that they were saying that Christopher Columbus had detailed that when he arrived here, he had already seen, I guess, dark people, dark, fair-skinned people, you know, who would look, I guess, like us. Correct. So we were, and this is me kind of being like, I don't know, but it's almost, he was describing people who look like us who were already here prior to him arriving.
Well, yeah, because Christopher Columbus didn't come into the 1800s. That's like they took the whole Christopher Columbus and just twisted up. Like I said, we was the people that did most of the traveling first. That's why we went around conquering lands.
Right,
you know?
The Moors.
Yeah, and that's why people wanted to conquer us, because they wanted to do what we had done to them. So, of course, when he came here with the few slaves he had, he seen other people that was already here, had settled, who had came here. They just didn't come here as slaves. You know, they came here as settlers or Indian people, whatever you want to call them. Like, the whole thing about Africa, people did not want to worship the one God. So people used to leave Africa so they could go set up their own world. That's what the Moors really is, a branch off of certain pirates that didn't want to keep or follow the true God. And what we would say, as the Bible tells us. So it was a big brotherhood fight in Africa. You know, some people wanted to be Muslims, some people wanted to worship the one God, some people wanted to follow other nations. You know, and that's what got Africa infiltrated and taken over by other nations because of the fight that was going on between, you know, us.
Now, I guess my question is, though, so while we're here in the States, is it terrible for you to want to try to take advantage of the situations that you're in, like, or that you can put yourself in? Because we all know why people come here. People come here because of the opportunity, right? They feel that the opportunity here is greater than it is elsewhere. And I said feel. Now,
I'm glad you said that.
That's the opportunity word right there. Is they feel like that. And that's what I was saying about, you have to be prepared anytime you make a move to understand what it is that you're going into before you ever arrive.
No,
that's still responsibility that you have to take. Like, on the news, you kind of see, like, we don't look that great. You know what I mean? We're not looking that great. But again, the opportunity here is very great. I know many successful Africans. Trust me, brother. Many. And I'm talking 7-figure brothers.
Okay,
and
now,
they came from Africa. Go ahead.
I didn't want to cut you off because what you were saying, but I want on that point of success is not money, and that's what America has made us think. Like right now, I could become a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? I could become a billionaire. But if I haven't gave my family, my children, a mind that America is taking away, that $1 billion won't last at all. That $1 billion you can lose in no time. So success, what America is actually breeding and what they are teaching our kids will not make them level up to success. It's going to make them level up to hurt, failure, disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we have, like all these, like money money is never success. And that's why America is paying us so much money to sing songs. Just think about how many people get paid to sing a song. How much? Why would you pay somebody millions of dollars to make some sounds? Because why? You print it out and it come with other principles behind that $1 million beat. So the money is just to keep us in the dream. You see what I'm saying? That's what the money is literally for, to keep us dreaming. Numbers don't stop. So success is never, and that's what's wrong with our people right now. Now, I'm not saying money is, you got to make money, of course, but that's, trust me, that's not success. And that's what they have made all us believe.
Well, success is going to be a relative term, right? So that's going to be relative to what someone equates as success, right? I mean, and that's real, right? That's like strength. That's like strength. Say you bench press, 200 pounds. That's heavy to someone else. That might be light to someone else. It's a relative term. So if you still need to have some form, because that brother was talking about somebody else going to Africa. His main complaint over here was that he wasn't succeeding.
Well, no, it's not that he's not succeeding. It's what you have to do to succeed. Most people who have succeeded, they bend over. Most people, bro, because I was a business owner. I was a business owner. I was a business owner. I was a welder.
Okay.
For me to get jobs,
again,
I just want to say this.
See things from a different perspective.
No, I'm telling you what I know. Unless somebody jump started you because they made a sacrifice. Most black people right now in their condition because somebody made a sacrifice.
No, you gotta. It's called working hard.
No, that's what I'm saying. But look, I want to say this though.
Somebody sacrificed anything.
Well, no, you got hit the whole thought. Well. No, you got to hit the whole thought because right now the people who control all businesses, they not our color, so they make you bend over when you come ask for something. I know right now. I know black business owners. You know all they tell me even before I start. They say, man, they don't be want to give me them jobs. And they know what the old black men be doing? They be going there, what we call it, kissing ass to get the job. See, I don't do that. I'm going to go in there like a man, hey, bro, you got some jobs on the table? Because my work going to stand for itself. So I ain't going to have to do nothing extra. But guess what they want us to do? We got to do something extra for the job. And they always but you just got to, your manhood is taken away. So when you go back home, when all that rub off on your kids, because you can't even really be a man because why? You just had to bend over to another man. This is what this system is for a lot of us. They might let one of us in the door. Everybody else, they going to give them hell. Because they control everything we got. So all these people at the top, that's why we don't have no good examples. You notice, as a black man, we don't have no good examples to the people that's at the top. If you look at all our role models, all of them bent over. Every last one of them. We ain't got one stand-up guy that can be a good example for our little boys to be stand-up men. We don't have that. Because why? They had to bend over for the money. I'm telling you what I know.
I guess. I think because, again, I'm here in the DMV, right? So what I see is just I see in terms of many things, a lot of black success, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's, you know what I mean? So I grew up here and I grew up in an area where I've seen success at different levels, but also in different fields. It's not all money related, So again, my view of it is slightly impaired because I'm in a black area that is considered to be, I guess, all right. You know what I mean? So
I just left the DMV, bro. I just left the DMV. I ain't grow up there, but I just left there. I spent about almost 2 months. Spent almost like 2 months there.
Yeah.
So it's very different. It's very different, but bro.
You understand what I'm saying then?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, now coming from Louisiana and coming up there, you like, oh, but the mind frame have been taken away because when you talk about the Black Boulets, the Eastern Stars, the Masons, all these jobs are connected to those kind of people. If you're not in that organization, you don't get these jobs. So it's, man, that's what I'm saying. It's so much. Even when to stay in those cities, you got to be. Back then, you couldn't live in DC without being a Mason. You couldn't live in New Orleans without being a Mason. See, this is what jump started us to think we are walking into success. When all these people,
DC was the worst city in the nation.
I know,
for years, and that I can stand on because I was here living it during that era. And people don't understand. At one point in time, DC got the murder capital 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
What's happened is that a lot of those black people who from that area now, fortunately and unfortunately, a lot of the brothers that was, doing their thing started using that money to create businesses. And then those businesses started creating wealth for other black people. And then you have a lot of women up here who are college graduates who then started getting these jobs at the government. And so DC for us, unfortunately, is a one-trick pony for black people because a lot of our stuff is connected to the government. So the businesses that are succeeding, who have these gentlemen who have their own businesses, and if the government was to shut down, their clientele is not going to be able to pay for their businesses because they're connected to the government. So from that perspective, yeah, DC is rough because you're on edge from that,
Correct.
But there's a lot of good black people who are up here who ain't necessarily bent over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's tough. That's tough.
But you got to think about the trauma that's in, because when I first kind of woke up, man, I kind of came out the world and tried to renew my mind and change my mind, and I try to pass that on to my kids. That's when I started seeing how we are really connected. Because if I'm teaching my child something, but my neighbor or my other brother or even my friend ain't teaching his kids the same principles and morals that I'm teaching my kid, it affect my child.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now, I could be doing good in my household, just thriving. It look good, but when I send my child out into this world with my other people, and they not on this mind frame, then it also affects me. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when it comes to the majority was ruled. So even in a place like DC, say you let a whole bunch of black people in, you get them good jobs. But what about Chicago? What about Philly? What about Louisiana? What about Alabama? See, what about everybody else that our kids gonna be in cahoots with, interacting with when we not around? And see, that's what it's about, and that's what they have stopped us from doing as a majority of people. So when we go back to Africa, we can do this because we don't have that problem in Africa. We just gotta get people on one accord. And if we bring all our stars back, it wouldn't be a problem because we got the internet. We could put the image on. If we got the image, the world gonna see it.
They gonna follow.
And they gonna follow. And because what you said, you hit the nail on the heart. And we just can't run back to Africa, no. But these last 10 years, it's been a lot of purification among our people to get our mind right. So once our government body go back to Africa, the people could come because now they have a governing body, which is an image to look up to.
Brother, the awakening is definitely happening. Now I am full on with that. I am full on with that. You know what I mean? I just, it's one of those things where I try to make sure that I can still see what's going on. That's all. But this was good stuff, man. Now, this is how we should interact with one another. This is how this is supposed to be done. This is exactly how this is supposed to be done. You know what I mean? Like, this was really good stuff, man. So I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. You know what I mean? And just stay blessed up, man, and peace and love and light to y'all, and that's it.
All right, brother. We appreciate you coming up, man. Salute to you also, bro. Salute to you. I love the dialogue.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back in DC soon, brother. So be looking for us. We'll be back there soon. That's where it's at.
That's what's up.
All right.
That's what's up. Well, I'm here. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Y'all have a good one now.
All right. But yeah, y'all, you know, bro, he said a lot of good things, man. You know, we gotta be prepared, and I think that's what we have been doing. We have been preparing. That's what we've been arguing for. You know, that argument is like birth pains. We've been preparing ourselves for, you know, the higher government, you know, to really understand what communication really is. But greetings, brother, man. Peace.
Hey, greetings, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. Peace.
Hey, brother, I love you, man. I can't say no more than that. I just plain out love you, man. I feel like you my brother, man. I feel like I've known you all my life. You know, I done soldiered with a lot of different groups. I was National Field Marshal for the Black Panthers. I'm from the First Resurrection. I'll be 60 years old my next birthday.
Okay.
So I've been around a long time, man. And you are refreshing, brother. You hear me? It's my 3-year-old son here.
All right. What's up, brother, man?
And I didn't come here. I didn't get on here to ask you a bunch of difficult questions because I know you got answers to everything. You hear me? I know your mind. I know your spirit, brother. What I like to do is I just want to know what can I do to help you. You understand? Because you got a powerful movement going on. And nobody ain't gonna know how powerful you is, brother, till you long gone, man. Mm-hmm. But I've seen you 1,000 times. I know your spirit. You understand? I know who you are. You dig me? And they not gonna appreciate you till you gone.
Oh yeah.
They not gonna even appreciate none of your work till you gone. I just want to know how I can fit in, brother. You know, I do a lot of different things now. I spent 15 years in a federal prison. I had a life sentence. It took 15 years to overturn it. I actually studied law. So I got a degree in law, got a degree in business. I do business consulting. I help the brothers start their businesses. I do all the paperwork, write the business plans, just some economic development. Because, you know, we need land, we need money. Of course, we not going to ask somebody, we ain't begging for nothing. This was ours from the beginning, and we taking it back. You know we taking it back. But
they're going to hand it over. I say, man, they going to hand it over. They just waiting for the order to be presented.
When them solar flares get done with them, they ain't going to have no choice. But yeah, they ain't gonna have no choice, brother. You know, cream rises to the top. That's what it does. But it's a lot deeper than that. You do a good job of breaking down the scripture, but everybody ain't operating on your frequency. Everybody can't receive what you're giving them. But they gonna love reading your stuff 10 and 20 and 50 and 100 years from now. You understand? You're gonna be a legend. Yeah. But I just want to know what I can do to help. I'm affiliated with a lot of people. Like I said, I did 15 years in the prison system. I did all my time in penitentiaries and the feds. They moved me around from one prison to another. They just allowed me to meet some good dudes, some shot callers, people that control different cities. And I'm in touch with a lot of men. I helped a lot of men get out of prison. You know, and I'm in touch with a lot of men. I like to create a round table.
Man, the first thing we gonna do, I'm gonna call you Unc, man. We gonna talk outside this platform, you know. So send me your information, and I'm gonna call you, brother, and we gonna chop it up, man.
Yeah, we followed you.
I want to create a round table, bro, and I want you to be able to get these leaders at the table, reveal some truth to them, give them some spiritual guidance, and give everybody an ability to talk.
Okay.
But you know, you got a lot of insight that these brothers need, because they need to bring that truth with them when they go talk to them young boys, when they go talk to their men. You understand? See, without that truth, they can't really validate themselves.
Correct.
Them young boys don't want to hear nothing about no churches and no mosques and all that. They way beyond religion. Mm-hmm. This is a new group. These are star children. They was born with the truth in them. So if it don't add up, they ain't going for it.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
That's right. So they need real leadership, brother. You understand? And I'm like I said, I'm a man amongst men, bro. I know leaders when I see them, bro. You hear me? I know them. I know them, bro. I honor you. I respect you. You my brother. You hear me? Make no mistake about it. I'm going to send you my info. I'm going to jump off your live. I'm going to send you my info, and we can build later, okay?
I will do, brother. Trust me. I'll be reaching out to you, man. I appreciate you coming up, giving me that info, man. We gonna link up, brother.
Yeah, brother, because there's a lot of brothers in leadership positions, bro. They control a lot of men, and that's them our soldiers, bro.
Correct.
Yeah, but they need guidance. They don't even know what to do yet, but they ready. But they just don't know what to do yet. They don't know where they're going. You understand? You got to take them there. Yeah, we going back to Africa right here, and we taking our stuff back right here. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, let me introduce you to this man, and let's create a round table where you can share your knowledge, bro. Get and arm them with what they need to keep the youth stimulated. They don't want to hear they don't want to hear all that hooping and hollering and all. They heard that for years. It ain't do nothing but enslave us. They ready to be set free, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to hear you.
They're ready to get to
Okay?
work.
All right,
do,
brother.
brother.
Be good, okay?
Yeah, send me that info, man. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
send
you,
it to
brother.
you now.
All
Okay?
right.
Peace, peace.
All right.
Peace, peace. That's what we come on here for, brother. That's what we come on here to meet people just like that. So when you see our lives, if you like that, come up, introduce yourself, or just shoot us an inbox. You know, those are the people right now, and he said it very well. These are the star seeds, so we born with the truth in us. It just got to be activated. We already got candlesticks. We don't need nobody teaching us nothing. We need somebody to set us on fire so we can take off. You know how when you start your car, those spark plugs, that's a spark. You know, so we need a spark to be set. And then we gonna go. No, see, everybody want to slow us down with reading a book and let me teach you this and come to my classroom, and man, that's not a movement. A movement is a spark. That's what a movement is, a spark. That's why Christ gonna baptize with the fire. So those who got the candlesticks, they gonna be lit. And we all gonna reflect what? Light. You know how we say, man, we said out, we lit. We lit. We on fire. Yeah, we is on fire. This generation, y'all. So again, as always, salute to the real women and men that's gonna stand up for the truth. The glass is shattered, y'all. When we come together, the glass is cracked from the top to the bottom, to the left, to the right. You know, it's cracked. It's gonna shatter when we get it together. When we get it together, it's gonna shatter. Then we gonna see the other side. Because the tinted window ain't gonna be there no more. The tent ain't gonna be there no more, y'all. You know, y'all, so this understanding what's really going on, y'all, man, is such an important. And for those who understand, it's very important that you unify with other people who understand. This is not a time to go to church. This is not a time to go to a classroom. And this is not time to go to learning sessions. This is time for, just like my brother man said, a round table with true men and women who know what it takes to lead. That's what we create. And everybody else, all hands on deck to help the movement. All hands on deck to help the movement. You got some people that's going to fight. You got some people that's going to help. And you got some people that's going to lift up. This is how you have an army. Everybody in the army don't go to war. But everybody can be a soldier. But everybody don't fight in the army. Everybody have what? Positions in the army. You know, now everybody's going to be trained to fight. That means what? Everybody going to be given a sword. That means you're going to be given the truth, which cut deep. So everybody going to have a weapon, but everybody is not required to fight. Understand the God army, y'all. Right now, this is what's being put together. You know, but like I say, y'all, just never thought I'd see the day, man. We hate Africa. You know, it's to the point where we're actually hating Africa. You know, where it's hate in our speech. It's hate in our heart. It's hate in our mind. You know, when it comes to the continent. Now, when you talk about a lot of natural resources, they don't come to America to get all the natural resources. They go to Africa. Now everybody want to talk about how natural we is. You know, how organic we is. You know, like I say, y'all, Africa's not for everybody. If you comfortable here, stay here. You know. But like I say, man, when you really trace, you know, because like I say, it's no lie without the truth. I think that's what we must understand. We think we've been lied to about everything, but the truth was in the lie. They just didn't give you the whole truth. Like, they just say, they didn't just snap their fingers and say abracadabra, woof. I'm going to tell them this. That's what we think. If you think they just snap their fingers, abracadabra, woof, I'm going to tell them this, and they going to believe it. No, y'all, they didn't know. They gave you half of the truth. That's what the lie is, I think. But we have to tell ourselves that. Because when we say we've been lied to about everything fake. Throw everything away. That's not, no. Everything is a lie because you don't have the whole truth. See, that's the truth. Everything is a lie because you don't have the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You have a watered down version of the truth. You know, that's what we have. So you don't throw, that's like the Bible. It's not that the Bible is fake. They gave you half of it. Then they what? They put a false time on it. So the only thing they told you what? What's happened back then when it's happening now. That's really the deception. Because like I say, they didn't snap their fingers and say, well, I'm just going to tell them this. No. They say, I'm not going to tell them this. I'm going to tell them this. Because if I tell them this, they're going to know this. Or if I tell them this, they're going to find out this. But if I don't tell them this, they won't even find out. That's how you lie to somebody. You know how somebody told you the truth, but then when you go tell it, you be like, well, no, I ain't going to tell them that. I'm going to tell them this. But you had the truth the whole time. You just didn't tell them. So because you didn't tell them what you should have told them, it stopped them from even what? Looking further into what you was really trying to present. You know how somebody tell you something, be like, man, why you didn't tell me that part? Because why? You would have came up with the whole conclusion. So when people leave something out, they lying to you. So you can't what? See the picture. So we can't see the picture no more because they lied to us. They just didn't tell us the whole truth. You know, and you know, like I say, y'all, so it's a lot of evidence, man, that prove the whole truth. You know, and that's why the truth is a conqueror. The truth will conquer the things you have been told. It will override it. It will overpower it. It will remove it. That's what the truth is. The truth is a conqueror. So because you wasn't told the whole truth, when you get the whole thing, it's going to what? Conquer the half. The best way to say it, y'all, is like the other half that's never been told. What about the half that's never been told? The half. That's it. The half that's never been, the other half. So when you hear the truth, it's going to go with the first half you got. Because remember what the lie is, half of the truth. And see, these things, y'all, we got to understand. The lie is just half of the truth. You know, and the truth is the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You know, so, but us not understand that, man, you know, a lot of people go into this rabbit holes again, so we can't really get nowhere. That's why we don't have a movement. Like my brother, man, say we ain't got a round table. I ask all the time, man, where the round table at? We got all these teachers. Where the round table at? Y'all ain't, the teachers ain't gathering nowhere? Oh, they gathering with their congregation, sitting in the best seat. Like, look at me. Where the round table at, y'all? You should have been a tough guy in high school. Then you would be trying to look all tough with books and knowledge. See, people trying to look tough with book and knowledge. Because they wasn't tough, I guess, when they was a child. So all this tough guy, my knowledge is more than yours, and man, that's what it's doing. Stop signs, red lights, traffic jams. You know. So we as especially y'all so-called black people, y'all, we gotta remove our pride, our ego, and understand what law and order truly is. Understand what law and order truly is. This is what all this about. So that's why they tell you the wise will be put to shame. I ain't never been wise with words. I always been wise with understanding. See, I'm not a wise man with knowledge and wisdom. That's my knowledge and wisdom don't determine my understanding makes me wise. My understanding make me knowledge. I might not know how to pronounce the word. I might not know the definition. I might not even know how to spell the word. But guess what I got? Understanding. So my pronunciation, my spelling, and me not knowing the definition, you can't take that understanding away from me. Because shit, with understanding, I create my own words. I ain't got to use the words that they get. I can create my own words with understanding. So the thing about understanding, y'all, understanding is the key. But we just got knowledge and wisdom that we don't understand. How you a man talking about the sun? You ain't never even... We just started getting on the damn plane. We just started getting on the plane, but we know everything about the sun right now. We know everything about the sun. But we don't know how to get out of this condition. If you know about the sun, you should be able to get 1 million people out of their condition. That's how I look at it. Because what I'm going up there for, why I can't never go. The plane don't fly by the sun. Why the airplane don't take you a tour to the sun? If the sun was that important, let's go look at it in that plane. They ought to have tours. Let's go. Let me take y'all to go see the sun. You know, so like I say, y'all, it's just a lot of false knowledge and wisdom, as I would call it, defiled. Everybody slept with it. A whore. Everybody laying down with it. And you know, they got this knowledge and wisdom, and they puff themselves up and teach it to other people and have other people come what? Praise them for what? For what? What have they done? We give knowledge for free. You know, if you join this movement, you're joining a movement to help it move. You're not supporting a teaching. And we all leaders are teachers being supported to do nothing. You will do better, man. Go, like I say, I'm much respect to my builders, to my brothers and my brothers, you know, and to my sisters too, but who actually teaching real stuff, passing down life necessities. Because the knowledge and wisdom that these teachers passing down, you can't use it in life. You can't use it in life. It's void. You be like, man, all I learned from Unc. What they call these teachers? The Unc teachers, the Kemet, the pastors, the Hebrews, all that you learn, you can't bring it to life. You got to go somewhere else to learn about life. So that's why when it comes to God, God is a movement and a manifestation. God is not a teaching. God is a movement and manifestation. You manifest God and you move. You don't teach God. You know, so it's a lot of things, man, that we just, we got to go back to elementary school, y'all. We got to get back to the basics. We got to get back to the basics. That's why I say come to God as a child. Because we got to go back to elementary and get the basics. And we're going to grow fast. because the spirit is quickening. So we're going to grow fast. We're going to move fast. But we first got to go back and get the basics. You know. We ran everybody away with this title. Everybody home, man. God means troops. It's an army, correct. It's an army, man. It's not a teaching. And everybody teaching. I told people a long time ago, man, I'm a writer. I ain't never been a bookworm. No, I ain't never been a bookworm. And they turning all our brothers and sisters into bookworms. And that's why we can't see the reality of what we living in. Shit, when I picked up the book, the first thing I seen, shit, God said he gonna deliver us from captivity. So everything after that, I'm like, well, how we get out of captivity? What's the movement? I know it wasn't the book. The moment I picked it up and found out we was in captivity and God was gonna get us out of captivity, what the hell are we gonna get out? This one of the first things I seen when I first picked up the Bible because of the knowledge and wisdom that was in the world. We the real Jews. We the children of Israel. Okay, now what? We are? Okay, well, what happened? We went into captivity because we disobeyed God. Oh, we did? So how we get out of captivity? We got to turn back to God. Well, how we do that? That's what the basic instructions tell us. It's the basic instructions. You know, so this book instructs us to appoint one head. It says they will appoint themselves one head. And the only way you appoint yourself one head, you got to have law and order. You'll never have a head without law and order. So like I said, it's almost the only way out for us is law and order. It's really the only way out. Or we're going to have to what? Keep being under a system that's being controlled by what? Other nations. Because we ain't got one. Because you can't have a nation without law and order. You can't have a nation without heads of the nation. You can't have a nation without these. Like I said, this is the basic necessities to a nation. So if anybody asks you why we ain't got no nation, we ain't got no heads. Everybody, you got Muslim heads, you got Hebrew heads, you got Christian heads, and you got Kemetic heads when it comes to majority of our people. But we ain't got no heads for a nation. We got heads for organizations. Just a nation. I guess that's why none of the organizations don't want to talk to me. Because I'm not an organization. This is a nation. I guess that's the separation, y'all. See, I never really read the Bible when I was a child, man. I just heard it. I never picked the Bible. Really? I really picked up the Bible about 10 years ago. My first time really just picking up the Bible and say, man, and I picked it up because when I changed my diet, everybody in my family told me what God made clean. You know, so I almost had to pick it up. And then when I talked to the Hebrews, they said, we got to eat the lamb. I'm like, what? And I ain't never heard nothing like that. I'm like, you got to eat a lamb? The Bible tell us to eat a lamb? I'm like, I ain't never heard nothing like that. So I had to pick it up. You know, but everybody was telling me, man, God made everything clean so you can eat whatever you want. And by me was just changing my diet, I'm like, because at first, man, 10 years ago, it was a little way harder to go vegan. I don't think we even had a vegan restaurant 10 years ago.
Vegan cheese.
You know, and they have vegan restaurants other places, but Louisiana, no. In Baton Rouge, we only got one right. Well, we got two. So the thing about vegan, it was like, well, damn. You know, it would be easier if I could eat a burger every now and then. That's what I thought. You know, shit, eat a piece of chicken, you ain't lying. Everybody eat. So, you know, you start questioning yourself, like, because when you really go 10 years ago, like I said, when you go vegan, y'all, it was totally different. Totally different than it is now. You know, so, you know, you kind of question things. So that made me pick up the Bible. I'm like, well, let me pick this Bible up, man. I know God ain't tell us to eat this, and it's killing us. That's all I was telling myself. I'm like, it's no way that I found this out. And I had found out Dr. Sabi had cured all these diseases, left eye. I found out all this stuff right, you know, when I I found Dr. Sabi first. Then I changed my diet because a girl was posting out how she got cured for AIDS and all that. I say, what? On Instagram. Then that's when she pulled Dr. Sabi up. But I didn't even go into Dr. Sabi, but she was just saying how you should be vegan. And I'm like, well, damn, that make a lot of sense. I was like, I guess that's why people go into hospitals. You know, so I really didn't even go into Dr. Sabi like that. Because I didn't know his name or nothing. I just heard this man cured left eye. And she went to Honduras and she started drinking the water and all this stuff. And she purified herself. And I didn't even really know about Dr. Sabi. So maybe about a year later, that's when Dr. Sabi started coming out hard. About 2014, 2015, he started coming out I'm like, oh, well, that's who they was talking about. You know, but everybody was telling me God said it made clean. You know, so that's actually why I picked the Bible up. You know, but before that, man, I never picked the Bible up. I never. You know, even in church, you know, he just because the pastor don't do nothing but read one scripture, and then he go on and on and on. That's how our pastor did. You know, and then you know they always try to make us learn all the names and learn all the chapters and. You know, that didn't do nothing for me. You know, it didn't, you know, it didn't spark me. I'm learning all these names that I can't really pronounce. Because like I say, I wasn't really into pronouncing words. That didn't excite me. You know, some people excited by pronouncing certain words. I ain't give a damn. You know, where the basketball at, man? So that kind of, like I said, so I never got into the Bible at all. You know, like I said, my first time picking up the Bible was to prove to people God ain't want us to eat meat. That's what I picked the book up for. And voila, God works in mysterious ways. Who would have knew? Shit, I didn't even know.
I couldn't say anything with the P or S. I just have a stuttering.
Oh yeah, Mississippi took me a long time to say Mississippi. Oh yeah. It took me a long. That's what I guess is why I probably became a good observer because I didn't talk much. I observed. But you know, at school people make fun of you. You can't read and stuff, so I made sure I was quiet.
The teacher asked you to read.
Nope. Teacher asked me to read. Sometimes she had me read, I make a face, and then I just go to somebody else. Because I wasn't a bad child. Like, you know, I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, we, and this is what I learned from my experience. When you're really not bad, you get passes. People give you a pass just based off your conduct. And this will start being revealed to me in school because a lot of stuff, man, I ain't do homework. Man, I ain't, like, a lot of stuff. I was the only child out of my 4 brothers that graduated school. So that tell you, it wasn't school, and I just wanted to play basketball, so that kind of pushed me because none of my other brothers played sports. So, you know, just wanting to do schoolwork, nah, but I wasn't bad. Shit, my little brother, he was bad. My older brother, they wasn't really, but I can't really know how their story was. But I wasn't bad at all, and they got me a lot of passes in school. You know, I was quiet. You know, I ain't caused no trouble. I came to class, I'm there. You know, I wasn't no dummy. You know, I knew how to do. Like I said, I had understanding. You give me a book, I'll read the back of it, and I answer all the questions. That was me. I wasn't finna read the whole book. Hell no. You know, that's so. You know, that's how I grew up, man. That's how I was raised. Then my mama didn't really force, you know, too much on me, man. As long as none of us made straight F's now. We wasn't no F's and D's. I was more of a C student. I was average. But yeah, that Bible, man, never intrigued me. And that's why, by this generation finding their identity out because of cell phones and we got pocket computers. So we have found our identity. And that's what separates this generation because we can identify ourselves. We're the first generation that could identify ourselves as a majority. Now, I'm not saying you didn't have people back then that identified themselves, but we have identified ourselves as a majority on a whole different level from all four corners of the earth right now. And this is the awakening that was prophesied about. That it was going to be awakening all over the world. And this have never happened this way. We might have had a few brothers and sisters woke up, in certain parts of the world. But now it's a majority of us from all over the face of the world that have been awakened to identity. And that's the power that this generation has. But like I say, at the same time, this generation also has the most confusion. The chosen generation was also going to have the most confusion. And that's why it's hard for us to get on what? One accord. Because getting on one accord is the most important thing for a movement. The most important thing for a movement is to be on one accord. But we are on different accords. And that's why we just don't have no movement. Without the one accord, there's no what? There's no law and order. So we keep going back to the law and order. You can't run from that law and order. And the law and order is what fools don't want to accept. True principle stand-up men and women accept correction. So right now, this law and order will correct us. But as it's written, only a fool hates correction. A fool hates correction. And we're dealing with a whole bunch of people with your false knowledge and wisdom who don't want to be corrected. So we don't have no movement because we can't get on one accord. And I say, y'all, this is the basics. This is not, we're not teaching nothing you got to look up. You got to go research. We just teaching basic necessities of life. To understand what it takes to have a movement and a revolution. You can't have a movement and you can't have a revolution without law and order, y'all. Like I said, man, it's almost getting redundant. But like I said, this video was inspired by, like I said, we was watching the video this morning. And like I say, and inspired by many other people that have told us, man, I'm indigenous to America, which is good. We're not mad at you, man. Hey, we gonna need the government here too, because it's gonna be a lot of you people that say, "Well, I don't want to go." But like I tell people, if the NBA and the NFL go to Africa right now, all these black people that say they're indigenous, they'll probably get up and go. If we move all our stars to Africa, you wouldn't be able to hold black people back. You will not be able to hold black people back if the Hollywood stars and the sports left America. Man, come on. You wouldn't be able. Man, they gone. We gone. You ain't got to ask no more questions. It ain't going to be no more arguments. We gone. So, they got a lot of majesty that's going back to Africa, y'all. It's a lot of majesty. And anyway, I want to be on the sub-Sahara part. I don't want to be where it's cold. And I'm starting to appreciate Louisiana now when we traveling to the north. I appreciate Louisiana. Because, man, ain't no way. So we dealing with all this cold weather that's keeping us inside. Like, come on now, y'all. Who gonna be outside when it's 20 degrees, snowing everywhere? What we gonna do? Sit in the house? Come on, man. We say we some people. I guess we ain't some people no more. Huh? Don't that dude say we some people?
Yeah. Who?
That dude who got to say, he ain't never say we was some people.
I don't know. I see what something.
Yeah, because people vegans always talking about being in the sun. You can't be in the sun in the north. Like
Dehydrate your food.
yeah, you can't be in the sun in the north. They saying we was in Utah. I say, God be God. Y'all let these researchers and these archaeologists just mess y'all mind up. You know, they show y'all something on TV and now you run with it. Utah, we was in Utah. How the hell we some people? In all that cold weather. It's cold damn near 9 months out the year it's cold. You might get about 4 months of heat. You know how much heat we get in Louisiana? It's hot all year round. Cold come and go like this. You snap your fingers, the cold gone. You know, and that's one thing that can make me say, well, damn, I appreciate Louisiana. I appreciate the South. You know, we ain't got all the fancy stuff they got up there on the north, but I appreciate the weather. Because I'm a country boy anyway. All I need is a yard. I'm going to have fun. All we need is a yard. You know, we'll put a volleyball net up. We'll put some horseshoes up. You know, we'll get some things going. We'll hop on some four-wheelers and, hey, we'll get some things going. Oh, Utah is a high place? I thought Utah was a little further up. I guess it's right by. See what the weather is. But you know, people saying they found artifacts there in Utah. You know. Which, like I say, y'all, artifacts can be taken and moved around. You got the Ethiopian artifacts right now in the Great Britain. You know, but like I say, y'all, you know, this stuff, man. When you want to trace, cool down. So it's right above Arizona. All right. So yeah, it's kind of mid.
Awesome.
It's mid. It's mid. It ain't up.
It's still mid, yeah.
See, I bet you it's snow. Certain parts. You know, y'all, so like I said, man, you know, people are just saying these things, man, when you trace our majesty, where it goes back to. You know, we even talk about the African Union. It's in Ethiopia. So then that's why we wasn't told the Bible was even come from Ethiopia. We wasn't even told these things. We were told the Bible come from Jerusalem. Why? So you won't know the whole truth. You got half of it. You know, the Bible is connected to the Solomon dynasty, which is a royal priesthood. Like this, we say we find the artifacts. Well, where's the royal priesthood that the Bible mentioned? What they at? They erased them off the face of the earth? Or is it the Solomonic dynasty? See, these are simple questions that can be asked. Is it the Solomonic dynasty that the scriptures are referencing? Or is it some people over here? If it is, what are the historical facts said if they had so much power? If they had so much reverence and power, where is the majesty? That's all we ask. Or the here, they don't want you to know. The here, they don't want you to know. The Romans just took over the world. The Romans ain't been, don't get it. The Romans, some people think the Romans been ruling for 10,000 years. The Romans ain't been ruling for that long, y'all. The Romans have not been ruling for that long. So don't think these Romans just been on top for that long. Come on now, y'all. This is the history, man, like I said, that we don't even really consider or even talk about. We just follow the narrative we've been given and keep going down the rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole getting deeper and deeper and deeper. You know? But we just back to set the record straight, y'all. We back to set the record straight.
Right, rediscover America.
Yeah, America was considered a new land according to historical research. You know, but I'm not too concrete on historical research. But you know, America was a new land found by us to build another society because again, we did not want to follow the one God. We wanted to make up our own gods. That's what America was for. That's why they call it what? You're free, Freemasonry. That means you could build on whatever you want to build on. That's why a Freemasonry is really came over here. You're free to build however you want. You can be a Muslim. You can be a Christian. You could be a Baptist. You could be a Catholic. You could be this. You could be that. Be what you want to be in the land of the free. Why did they tell you this thing? Because the African chiefs, they weren't having it. The African chiefs say what? You can't worship that. You can't do that. So people was like, well, I don't want to be here. I'm going somewhere else. We done found this new land where you could be what you want to be. Come over here. You got better opportunities. They tell Africans this right now. Better opportunity in America. The land of what they say? The land of the free and the land of opportunities. That's what they were telling them back then. The land of opportunities. Come to America. It's the same talk, just on a different scale. Back then, the people ain't seen no buildings or nothing. They seen what? It's a new place I can go to. It's almost like you're right, man. I'm tired of being in the South, man. I want to go to New York. Remember, I got some people up there. They told me how good it was. I'm going. And you leave. But now we just leave in cars, buildings, cell phones, roads. Back then, they had boats and horses. That's all they had back then. But the same news still got back to the people the way the news got back. And they say what? Well, I'm going to.
I'm going.
Just that simple, y'all. That's how a lot of us got over here. You know, so, and that's for all nations. That goes for all nations. You know, everybody came to America for a better life. Everybody came to America for a better life. You know. So y'all, man, anybody want to talk to us on this topic? It's all good. Because guess what? The truth gonna prevail, y'all. Ain't no stopping it. No stopping it, y'all. No stopping it, man. Right now, y'all, we're in the fourth quarter, man. If you missed the highlights, if you missed the game, we got some highlights for you, but the game you just missed. But we got some highlights for you. So, you know, at the fourth quarter, y'all, you know what time it is. That's why it's 400 years. That's why you got 4 quarters. So we was going to be in slavery for 4 quarters, not 400 years. If you can bless to hear. So this is the 4th quarter, y'all, of all this trauma that we are going to, y'all. When we look back on this, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be something to talk about, something to laugh to, something to chill to, and something to give enlightenment to the next generation so they won't make the mistakes we made. That's what all this is for, y'all. You know, so like I say, man, just keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, connect with the right people, support our movement, message us, get with us. We're not hard to find. This is the movement, y'all. Like I say, man, we're not hard to find, y'all. So I know we got to get going some things, y'all. So we appreciate y'all. Peace and blessings for those who came up. Salute to the stand-up brothers and sisters. And we'll see y'all on top.
Peace, peace.